Most people believe freedom comes from doing more. More productivity, more commitments, more proof that you're moving forward. More meetings, more plans, more responsibilities stacked on top of each other until your days look full enough to feel meaningful. That's what I believe too. For a long time, I thought if my calendar was packed and people depended on me, then I must be doing something right. But my life didn't change when I added something new. It changed the moment I stopped saying yes. If you've ever felt busy but unfulfilled, needed by everyone but understood by no one, this story is for you. If you've ever ended a long day exhausted without being able to point to anything that truly mattered, you're not alone. In the next few minutes, I want to share the one New Year decision that helped me reclaim my time, my energy, and my sense of self. And why this decision didn't just improve my life, but quietly reshaped it. The year before this decision looked good on paper. My calendar was full weeks in advance, sometimes months. Messages came in constantly. Notifications never really stopped. People relied on me, expected quick replies, assumed I'd be available. From the outside, it looked like momentum. If you had asked anyone how I was doing, they would have said I was busy, committed, reliable, maybe even successful. But what they didn't see was how every morning started with pressure before my feet even touched the floor, and how every evening ended with a heaviness I couldn't explain. I wasn't tired from meaningful work. I was tired from being available. Tired from constantly adjusting my life around other people's needs. Tired from reacting instead of choosing. Some days passed in a blur. Meetings that could have been emails, conversations I didn't have the emotional energy for. Plans I agreed to simply because it felt easier than explaining why I didn't want to go. I kept telling myself this was normal, that this was adulthood, that this was responsibility, that everyone felt like this and I just needed to push through. But late at night, when the noise faded and the world slowed down, a thought kept returning. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet and persistent. Is this really the life I chose, or the life I slowly slipped into without noticing? The uncomfortable truth was that I kept saying yes for reasons I didn't want to admit. I said yes because it made me feel needed. I said yes because it made me feel valuable. I said yes because saying no felt selfish or risky, or like it might change how people saw me. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to seem unreliable. I didn't want to be misunderstood or labeled as difficult. So instead of being honest, I became agreeable. Instead of protecting my time, I offered it freely. I traded honesty for approval, little by little over time. At first, the cost wasn't obvious. It never is. The regret didn't arrive all at once. It showed up quietly, disguised as irritability, as fatigue, as a low-level dissatisfaction I couldn't name. It showed up when I canceled plans with myself to meet someone else's expectations. When I postponed things I cared about because there was always something more urgent. When I felt annoyed at people for asking too much, even though I was the one who kept saying yes. I wasn't angry at others. I was angry at myself for agreeing to a life I no longer recognized. That feeling followed me into the new year, and strangely, New Year's Day felt different from every other day before it. There was no rush, no urgency. No expectations pulling at me from all directions, just quiet, just space. For the first time in months, I wasn't rushing anywhere, wasn't mentally rehearsing my next obligation. And in that stillness, a simple truth surfaced, clear and undeniable. I don't need a new life. I don't need a dramatic reset. I need boundaries. I didn't create a vision board. I didn't write a long list of resolutions. I didn't promise myself I'd become a completely different person. I made one decision. One rule that would guide everything else. If saying yes costs my peace, my time, or my values, the answer is no. Not someday. Not when I'm less busy. Not after I explain myself 5 different ways. Now. No long explanations. No over-justifying. Just clarity. The first time I tested this decision, my heart raced. I stared at the message on my screen longer than I'd like to admit. I rewrote it again and again, softening the words, adding unnecessary apologies, trying to make my no sound as small and harmless as possible. I expected disappointment. I expected tension. I expected consequences. None of that happened. The world didn't end. The conversation moved on. And when it was over, I felt something unfamiliar settle in. Relief. The second no felt awkward. The third felt uncomfortable in a different way. And then slowly something shifted. Saying no didn't make life easier right away. It made it quieter. And silence can be unsettling when you're used to noise. My calendar started to open up. Empty spaces appeared where commitments used to be. Evenings became unstructured. I had time alone with my thoughts again, and at first I didn't know what to do with that space. But discomfort didn't last forever. It rarely does. Slowly, the quiet stopped feeling empty and started feeling spacious. With fewer obligations pulling at me, I finally had room to breathe. Room to rest without guilt. Room to think without interruption. Room to notice how drained I'd been and how much I'd ignored my own needs. My energy returned, my focus sharpened, my confidence grew, quietly, steadily, without announcement. Not everything felt easy. Not everyone was happy about the change. Some people stopped reaching out as often. Some invitations disappeared. Some connections faded without confrontation or closure. That hurt more than I expected. But over time, it taught me something important. Some relationships deepen when you set boundaries. Others only exist when you're endlessly available. Letting go of that truth was painful, but accepting it was freeing. What surprised me most was how different life felt when my yes actually meant something. When it wasn't automatic or expected, but intentional. Freedom, I learned, isn't loud or dramatic. It doesn't arrive with fireworks or applause. It's subtle. It's waking up without dread. It's choosing your days instead of surviving them. It's knowing that your time belongs to you and you're allowed to protect it. It's peace without apology, knowing your yes actually means something. This New Year decision taught me one thing. That no is a complete sentence. I didn't need to follow it up with any explanation or justify it. Just saying no was enough. So I want to leave you with a question. What's one yes you've outgrown but are still carrying out of habit, fear, or guilt? What would change if you let it go? If this story felt familiar, watch the next video for another quiet shift in perspective. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more reflections on growth, boundaries, and clarity, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Always remember that sometimes the most powerful decision you can make isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet no that finally gives you your life back. This is Life's Whispered Moments. Tune in for more stories that lighten your heart and brighten your journey.